was a Ruby developer for a long time. I was always interested in functional programming, and I tried different flavors like Clojure, Scala. Nothing really clicked. And then I saw Elixir, and I had a lot of respect for Jose with his work in the Rails community, and it was so I was like, oh, this looks really nice. It looks really approachable, and sort of never looked back from there.
Your talk was on writing consistent code. Could you tell me a little bit about how your company, the Bleacher Report, writes consistent code?
So we've developed standards over the last couple of years of using Elixir. One of the things that we've done is at a more generic level is having service reviews. So before any new service is deployed, since we use microservices, we have these various checklists like monitoring, performance, these kind of things, database optimizations. And then on the application level, we use Credo, as I mentioned in the talk about. So all the apps look the same. We have documentation. Some apps use type specs, and they all have a high test coverage. So those give sort of good frames for the application to move forward and to not have the same problems that you would have in a more inconsistent state, I guess.
So in your talk, I unfortunately didn't get to catch it, but I'm definitely going to be checking it out once the videos are released. How did you translate what you learned in your company to something that the entire community could use?
I mean, similar lessons that we've found over the past couple of years. I showed some of my early Elixir code that was really terrible, and showed how using the standards that we've developed, how that became less terrible, and how it became into much more readable, composable functions doing simple things.
So, although you've already kind of partially answered this question, what motivated you to specifically choose this subject?
I think it's probably the same, is that a lot of companies are interested in Elixir and they want to know, how is it successful? Are big companies using it? I think Bleacher Report is one of the biggest companies in terms of traffic using it, and we've really committed to it fully, and we've done that for a while now. And so it's good for the community to see that it's successful, and hopefully this will encourage other companies and developers to give the language a shot, and hopefully we'll see higher adoption rates in the next couple of years.
So regarding your product, your Bleacher Report, what are the statistics regarding how well it runs compared to your previous implementations in different languages?
I mean, our average response time hovers around or less than 100 milliseconds, which is great, and that's basically traffic independent. So in the past, one of the when you're a content provider, you have breaking news, people will flood your site. In the past, we've had to do caching, these other things, auto-scaling strategies, and even those didn't work because caching, you have lots of problems with caching. You can only add so many servers, and with Elixir, it's been able to handle it really easily for the most part. And we're still finding ways to improve. But the NFL draft was our highest number of concurrents ever, and the average response time was under 100 milliseconds. So it's a testament to the language and to the hard work that we've put in.
Yeah, extremely impressive. And that's probably what motivated you to write your book that's coming out soon, Adopting Elixir.
Yeah, it was sort of a serendipitous story because I met Bruce Tate at a talk in Mexico City last year, and after I gave a talk about a similar theme, I said, maybe you should write a book about this, and and then it turned out that Jose was like, we need this sort of book, and this was independent, and we sort of both came to him at the same time, and then we chatted, and we were like, this could be really good, and it's of course excellent. I mean, it's fantastic to work with both Jose and Bruce. And just like the talk, hopefully you'll be able to give this book to your team lead or your CTO or whomever and say, here's everything you need to know other than the language itself, but this is why you should use it, and this is how to do it. So hopefully that will also drive adoption.
Mm-hmm. And you speak quite a bit on the subject, clear to your goal of encouraging adoption of Elixir. What are your opinions on the significance of conferences from the perspective of a frequent speaker?
It's an incredibly fortunate thing because I get to do what I love every day, and then I get to travel around and I get to meet people. I mean, that's I'm not a very extroverted person, so speaking is sort of nerve-wracking for me. But it's been great because I've been able to meet these people all around the world, and we all share the same passion for the language, and we want to see it adopted. And I guess that's it's interesting too because as the years go on, more advanced topics or more like nerves-related topics are appearing, which is really cool. So I think 3, 5, 7 years time from now, it'll be a very different place, but it'll be really amazing to see what people do with the language.
To be honest, you say nerve-wracking, but I really can't tell at all. You seem like you're very experienced in speaking like this. I want to ask, in future conferences, what would you like to see compared to what you've seen?
I mean, it's sort of an interesting time because as people come to the language, we need to have beginner talks or or something, or more beginner intermediate talks, because you don't want to exclude people. We don't want the barrier to entry to be too high, so you want to have that track. But as I learn more about the language and more about even like Erlang and the virtual machine, I want to get more into the internals of the language and stuff like Jose was talking about. James Dish's talk was great because he's one of the experts in the language, and to be able to spend time with the Elixir core team and to see what they're doing, that's the kind of stuff that I want to see going forward. Mm-hmm. But you have to be careful to balance it because you don't want to alienate people. So it's good that you have 2 tracks that's more like beginner, intermediate, and then more of an advanced track.
I see. And final question I guess I would ask is, coming from a seasoned both Elixir speaker and a seasoned Elixir developer, what is the one thing that you wish you knew before starting in Elixir?
I don't know. I mean, I can't really think of anything bad. Maybe I wish it started earlier.
Oh man, that's a cheating answer right there. I guess we can expand it a little bit and maybe think, what's one thing that you would want to tell somebody who's going to come to the language or is interested in language? What would you tell them?
I mean, that there'll be setbacks, like anything else. When you're learning something new, you're gonna, especially one of the things, because it does have a Ruby influenced syntax, mm-hmm. that you expect these idioms to work from Ruby idioms to work in Elixir, and they don't. Mm-hmm. So in a Ruby you have an instance variable with the I can't remember what it's called, the @ sign, and then in Elixir, an @ sign, the attributes are different, or like an atom versus a symbol. These are so be aware of these sort of false friends. So you don't look at it as a symbol in Elixir as a symbol. Think of it as an atom. It's a distinct thing.
False cognates. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks so much for talking.
My pleasure.